Coming up tonight on Murrow News 8, a fatal shooting in San Bernardino, California.
Plus, Christmas break is coming up and we have what you need to prepare for your ride home.
And is there a scientific reason we spend so much money on Black Friday? These stories and more tonight on Murrow News 8.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Welcome to Murrow News 8. I'm Kevin Fisher.
And I'm Scott Brewster. Thanks for joining us tonight.
For the second time in less than a week, a mass shooting occurred in the United States. The community of San Bernardino, California was disrupted this morning by a coordinated attack from multiple assailants. Murrow News 8's Colby Crosley has more details about the incident.
The day began at a social services facility in San Bernardino when witnesses described that up to 3 attackers came in and started shooting. Some people from inside the building were able to get messages out to the public.
This is the way I was introduced to this today. It was emergency situation at my work, active shooter on site. We're all locked in offices and on the floor. Please pray for us.
The attackers were dressed in black military gear when they entered the facility. Police Chief Jared Burguan opened up on the attackers.
Preliminary information indicates that these are people that came prepared, that they were dressed and equipped in a way to indicate that they were prepared, and they were armed with long guns, not handguns. I do not know what type of long guns.
The police completed a door-to-door search before deciding that the attackers had escaped. As of now, 14 people are dead and 17 people are injured. Reporting for Murrow News 8, I'm Colby Crosley.
There have been more mass shootings than days so far in 2015. Today's incident in San Bernardino was the 352nd shooting where at least 4 people were fatally shot or injured. 8 states have had casualties number 20 or greater thus far. President Barack Obama expressed frustration over the growing number of incidents. Last week, President Obama said the mass shootings were not normal. His statement after the Planned Parenthood shooting in Colorado Springs, Colorado, was the 16th statement he's released regarding mass shooting incidents.
A Moscow man died yesterday afternoon after being admitted to the hospital for strange behavior. According to officials, Moscow police arrested 46-year-old John Huckle in between Van Buren and E Street in Moscow after receiving multiple calls about a man acting strangely. Police later admitted Huckle to Gritman Medical Center, where Huckle turned violent. During the struggle, Huckle suffered a cardiac arrest and died despite police efforts to revive him. A Washington man is being freed after 15 years in prison for being wrongly convicted of killing his mother. A Cowlitz County judge ordered Donovan Allen to be released yesterday after the prosecutor dropped the charges against him. New DNA tests connected 42-year-old Brian Del Kitts to the crime. Kitts was arrested last week and pleaded not guilty yesterday.
Snowfall has landed in Pullman, and this time it's sticking. Kalinda Kindle tells us how WSU is handling the frosty arrival.
Whether you hate it or love it, you saw it this morning. Blankets of snow covered Pullman. It's time to bundle up this December because it looks like the snow is here to stay. And believe it or not, the snowfall did come a little later this year. The first snowfall for last year was November 13th. Even though the snow came a little early this year, the average temperatures have been consistent. Today's average of 33 degrees is the same temperature as it was today last year. The snowfall this morning caught some people off guard.
I'm not that prepared for this, so actually I'm an international student. Snow before, I've been in the States for 4 years, but I just got a car this year, so I've never done this before.
Having snow tires or chains on your car is very important, but don't forget the other important components to get ready for winter. According to the Department of Motor Vehicles, the lower temperatures and snowfall call for changing the oil in your car and checking your car battery and wires for cracks from the cold weather. If you like spending time outdoors this holiday season, or if being indoors is more your cup of tea, it's best to be prepared. Reporting for Murrow News 8, I'm Kalinda Kindle.
Continuing with the snow theme, with all this snow going on, let's take a look at what we need to do to prepare our rides with Murrow News 8's Bethany Bloomer.
The best part of break is the homemade food and seeing family, but the hardest part can be getting home. With icy roads and dangerous conditions, chains are oftentimes essential to traveling safely. I went on campus and asked fellow students what experience they have with putting on chains.
It was really horrible. So it was snowing outside, it was freezing cold, and I had no one to help me. I ended up getting really bad frostbite on my fingers, but yeah, it wasn't a good experience.
So my experience in chains is actually in Pullman. It was snowing a couple years ago pretty bad, and yeah, I just had to put them on so I could make it up the hill to my house.
Okay. To the average person, chains may seem like a daunting task, but nowadays they are easier than ever to put on. When visiting friends and family this holiday season, make sure you check road conditions and other possible restrictions for your route. For Murrow News 8, reporting with videographer Megan Murnane, I'm Bethany Bloomer.
See, this is why I four-wheel drive. How's your little car handle?
About as well as the Cougs offense during the Apple Cup.
That's rough, that's rough. Now, Pullman woke up to some snow this morning. After the break, Julia will let us know if it will be sticking around.
Stay with us.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The great outside.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
So shiny.
We both love the outdoors.
That's not a flower.
And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Man, it's been a long time since I built a snowman, but I admit I'm just too lazy to do it.
You know, Frosty might melt here in the next coming days. Julia, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, I can definitely say that we won't see any snow for at least a week, but we'll see some clouds and some rain. The temperature right now is 32 degrees. Today's high was 34 degrees, which is lower of the average of 37 for today. When we look at tomorrow, make sure that it's gonna be raining a little bit, so make sure that you bring a raincoat or umbrella. So the average temperature will be in low 40s. When we look at the state map, it's been cloudy too. See, like all those gray areas. The average temperature was in high 40s. When we look on the east side, the same situation over here, the gray areas, lots of clouds, but the temperature was a little bit lower with averaging of high 30s. When we look at 5-day forecast, I have to warn you, you have to bring a raincoat on Saturday and Monday because it's gonna rain a lot. The temperature will stay in its mid-40s. That's all the weather I have for you tonight. Coming up after the break, Amanda Beltran fills you in on why Bisley Coliseum will be rocking tonight.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Planned Parenthood has filed a federal lawsuit trying to overturn new Idaho laws banning women from receiving abortion-inducing medication through telemedicine. Telemedicine allows doctors to consult with patients remotely. Planned Parenthood won a similar lawsuit in June with the Iowa Supreme Court, saying the rule would have placed an unconstitutional burden on women. Black Friday may be over, but the holiday shopping season is just getting started.
Be aware of your shopping habits, though. Mary Maloney reports research shows us that there's a science behind the sales.
Stores are using psychology and research to encourage shoppers to open their wallets. For instance, if items are on the middle of a shelf and if a price ends in 9, studies show people will more likely buy. How the sales clerks treat customers may also influence shoppers. But according to a recent study, the nice guy doesn't always finish first. In fact, rude salespeople in luxury stores can cause customers with lower self-esteem to spend more. And if you think the music you hear is random, think again. The right genre can make shoppers happier and lose track of time. Studies show pop music leads to impulse buys, whereas shoppers may not pay attention to lesser-known music and instead focus on the price. Things to consider to help you shop smarter. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
What if your Christmas shopping could impact both the recipient and the community? The alternative giving market of the Palouse lets people donate to any of 32 nonprofits on behalf of another individual. Palouse Habitat for Humanity, the Humane Society, and Moscow Community Garden are a few of the nonprofits participating. The giving market is open from 4 to 8 p.m. tomorrow in Moscow.
Authorities have had contact with at least 2 of the suspects in a standoff. Both suspects are down and 1 officer is injured. At the moment, the number of injured from the shooting still is at 17, and the death count is still at 14.
That's all the news we have for you tonight.
Watch us every night at 7 and 10 p.m. and make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.